Thursday, December 20th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East here with you. Let's start with a live look up in the mountains of Banner Elk. Another morning where there's a pretty good spread in mountain temperatures. 41 in Banner Elk, but Boone has been around 29 the past couple of hours. And it's pretty chilly all around the region. I'll run down temperatures in just a moment. The radar very active off to our west. Now it's still quiet during the 5 o'clock hour across the Carolinas and Georgia up into the Virginias, but that'll be changing. Let's talk about the snow aspect of this system for the time being. Look at that. Pretty heavy snow spreading up into Michigan. Much of the state of Wisconsin seeing snow. It's raining in Chicago. They'll get into some snow later on, and there's that band of snow extending on back into Iowa, even on down into Kansas City. And then you get into the severe weather aspect of this system. There's a new tornado watch covering a good chunk of southern Alabama, parts of Louisiana, southern Mississippi, and the westernmost Florida Panhandle region. A couple of tornado warnings in effect, one in middle Mississippi, another one down along the Alabama Gulf Coast. Numerous severe thunderstorm warnings as well. So kind of an active morning back that way. And we'll see some threat of some severe weather around our region. More on that in just 1 second. Let's talk about the snow. There you go. This is a big-time snowstorm. Some folks will pick up over a foot of snow, especially it looks like up into parts of Michigan. And then as the colder air rushes in behind this system tonight, the mountains of North Carolina, the Virginias will pick up some snow. The heaviest totals of those areas I just mentioned will be up in West Virginia, but those northwest-facing areas that normally do well with upslope type of snows in North Carolina and eastern Tennessee, there'll be multiple inches of snow before everything is said and done. And that is going to be a welcome thing for the ski industry for sure. Temperatures this morning, again, pretty chilly. 30s and 40s across the foothills, Piedmont, and most of the coast as well. Look at that cold air behind this system, 11 degrees in Denver. Omaha's at 22. But look at the little kind of finger of warmth ahead of it through the Mississippi Valley and the Tennessee Valley, 53 degrees in St. Louis, that warm air fueling the ongoing severe weather threat that I highlighted a moment ago. We had 60s for highs yesterday, just a delightful day. Today, a much different day with the rain and thunderstorm activity developing on in as this entire storm system continues to march our way. So there you go. One area of low pressure up over Missouri and that triple point over Mississippi. There'll be another area of low pressure form along that later today as well. All that means is that this afternoon, this evening, we'll have this round of rain and storms develop through, and look at that snow kicking in the mountains tonight and extending into tomorrow. Now on to the modeling. This is the GFS for today, and I'll talk about the upper air charts and where we're headed next week in just a moment, but there's our front moving our way. This is the precipitation through about 1 o'clock or so Eastern time, and then as we get into this afternoon to this evening, there's that band of rain and storms developing on in. There is a threat of some severe storms, especially through southern Alabama, southern Georgia, and the coastal parts of the Carolinas, but even further north toward the Interstate 85 corridor, can't rule out an isolated strong to severe storm. Now behind this system, here comes the colder air. It's going to be a windy, cold day tomorrow. Just an old-fashioned, cold, blustery wintertime day, even though I guess it's technically just becoming winter tomorrow. It's going to feel like it for sure, with winds gusting in the Piedmont 30, 35 plus miles an hour. Mountain wind gust could easily exceed 50 plus miles per hour tomorrow, and there'll continue to be some snow flying there over parts of the mountains as well. As we get into the weekend, it'll be very quiet. Saturday, Sunday look like quiet weather days with highs in the 50s, some morning lows, upper 20s and lower 30s. Then we get out to Christmas Eve. There we go. A lot of clouds. You can't even rule out a few areas of some very light rain by Monday afternoon and Monday night. And then Christmas Day, it looks like things might time out for much of the region that we can keep things dry. Now, when you get down into Georgia and Alabama, that's not going to be the case. But for the Carolinas, a lot of us may eke out a dry Christmas day, but then a lot of question marks continue to arise. In the upper levels, this is the European model. This is Christmas Eve, and the European a little bit more pronounced with this little lead disturbance coming out. This is the main system we've been talking about behind it. Now we go out to 168 hours, and there's the European chart. This is Wednesday evening, so the evening of the day after Christmas. And, you know, it's going to be interesting to watch. There's where the European closes off an upper level low, but there's a lot of energy rounding the base of this trough. So I wouldn't be surprised if this low closed off a little bit further south on some future runs. We'll see. And then there's that trough swinging on through Thursday of next week. And what that means on the European is this is what the surface looks like. As you get into Wednesday, There is some degree of cold air damming showing up, not enough for any ice concerns verbatim across North Carolina. Wouldn't shock me, though, if those issues materialized up in the Virginias. And again, watch the track of this low. We get out to 180 hours. That low pressure is right over the central Carolinas. So that's a heavy rain scenario. For the mountains, it's even rain on the European, kicking over to at least some snow at the tail end of the system as it lifts to the north and strengthens. Now let's talk about the GFS. Compare what it's doing with that system next week. This is out 150 hours, so early Wednesday morning. Close low entering the Ozarks that then lifts east-northeast into Ohio by Thursday morning. So at the surface on the GFS, here we are Wednesday morning, and the cold air damming is more pronounced on the GFS. Still verbatim for most of North Carolina, that's just rain, but it's closer on the GFS. To getting some type of wintry weather. But your main low on the GFS, watch this, classic example of a redeveloping low to the coast. We got to 168 hours, and you can just see, if you're familiar with looking at these types of charts, the energy transfer into the coast. There's your primary low weakening, secondary low developing near the coast, and it's fully a coastal low 12 hours later, sitting near the Delmarva Peninsula. A lot of interesting things to kind of watch and see how this unfolds. GFS, by the way, in the longer range still has our system around the first of the year, and that'll be one to keep an eye on as well. One more chart. This is the last chart I'll show you. This is the the GFS ensemble mean, and it's a little further south and east with the main low pressure track with our system the middle part of next week. So still there's frankly a lot more questions than answers with exactly how that system will unfold. A lot of variability with a lot of moving pieces with that system, and we'll just kind of continue to see how it unfolds. It still looks like Wednesday is the day where we'll get the heaviest precipitation. Likely for the Carolinas, it'll be rain in most spots, but we'll have to keep an eye on that cold air damming just in case, especially up toward the northern foothills and some mountain areas. We'll see. All right, that is it for today. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.